Hello, everyone. It's Jabari. Alright guys, my setup's a little weird. I just got a new monitor, so please excuse it if you can't hear me as well as you normally can. Hello, I really enjoy your live streaming because you don't just talk about no black and white. You spend time teaching a history that can be said is lost because it's not really taught enough. Thank you, Ross. That's exactly what the channel's about, just teaching about our history. It's not no type of propaganda, you know, not trying to call out one people as better or worse than the other, you know. I'm just trying to teach about history, that's all. That's what makes my channel stand out from all these other just BS channels. Sometimes it actually confuses me how people can go onto African history channels preaching that Africans have no history. I mean, people who do that clearly just want to stroke their own ego by doing so. They literally spend their day searching African history videos for that sole purpose. So, yeah. History is not racial, it's about people. Exactly. You shaved your facial hair? Yes, I did. I had drill this weekend. Conveniently, for those of you who are in the United States, I'm sure you heard about the government shutdown. It was supposed to be a 3-day drill, but government shutdown, so they sent us home early. So yeah, today we're just gonna have a general discussion, because to be quite honest, I think I need to make this stream a little better, and I feel like I haven't been really doing you guys enough justice. We've literally just been sitting here talking most of the time. So, yeah, just a general discussion as well as brainstorming. If you guys have any ideas for something, I mean, I want to have a variety of things we do live. Trivia is already one on the list, trivia, but I want to have a variety of things that we kind of rotate throughout the weeks. Something that's more fun and interactive and engaging rather than just, you know, talking, you know what I mean? So, Americans are weird. Yes, people of all different nationalities can be weird. Republicans or Democrat, why shut off the government? It's issues above that you and me cannot control. Do you know the channel called Home Team History? You should do a cooperation with him. Actually, me and Home Team History are actually working on a collaboration as we speak. I mean, he's been kind of spotty with his replies. We've been emailing back and forth, and he's been very spotty. So it's been a very slow-going process, but it's in the works. Welcome, Lord Nothing. Thanks, Corentin. So, how's everybody doing today? Rip Frito Santana, Chicago legend. Sorry if I haven't heard of him. I'm weird. I don't know. There's so many. Like, it's embarrassing how little famous people I know. You said the collaboration is about Yoruba mythology, right? Yep. And if you have any gods that you would like us to talk about, you know, feel free to throw them in the chat. You never know. There are already a few I have in mind that I'm gonna go over for sure. Ishu, Shango, and Odumare. Those are definite ones I'm gonna go over. Those three for sure. I'm pretty fine. I'm fighting a post-apocalyptic America game in study. My gods sound cool. Oh my gods, yes. Oh my gods. Bambara mythology. Well, I mean, the video is going to be Yoruba mythology, so I'm more referring to... Hold on one second. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Let's see. Are you ever going to talk about folklore creatures such as Nunda? Yes, but that is a realm of study that I'm lacking in, so I don't really want to teach about it until I'm comfortable with my own knowledge of it. What's your opinion on the Nation of Islam? I don't agree with their view when it comes to theism, but their solutions for black community to become organized are correct in my opinion. I think Islam in general had its golden age. For hundreds of years, they were like relatively on a higher pedestal than Christianity. But over time, with colonialism and all that, similar to Africa, they just kind of stooped down to a level that is generally lackluster compared to all the accomplishments and progress they made in the past. That's pretty much how I view it, but I don't want to get into any political stuff. But not that I think that all Islamic people are evil like a lot of ignorant people do. It's just, as a whole, like, the global view and global agenda of Islam has become a somewhat negative thing. But I mean, that doesn't make me dislike Islamic people. I have Islamic friends, you know, so. How about Serapis, a god created by Ptolemies, who are a weird hybrid between Zeus, Hades, and a couple of Egyptian gods? I mean, like I said, I'm going to be focusing on the Yoruba mythology more specifically. Okay, you know, for example, the Roman pantheon and the Greek pantheon, the Yoruba have their own pantheon, and this video is going to be encompassing the Yoruba pantheon. They have their own thunder god, their own river goddess, their own sea god. They have all that stuff. For example, their sea god, contrary to Western or like Roman and Greek gods like Neptune and Poseidon, who have like a fishtail, the Yoruba sea god known as Olokun has he has like 2 mudfish for legs, basically. To be honest, I think Islam did much more harm to many African communities around the world. Debatable. I think Christianity has definitely had a longer and more widespread impact on the African continent. Most of sub-Saharan African Islamic influence has been relatively voluntary. North Africa was conquered through force, but most of sub-Saharan African Islamic places, such as the Swahili Coast, the Mali Empire, the Wolof Empire, so on and so forth, they were still independent black African kingdoms. So I don't really think they did as much harm as Christianity, which pretty much just cut him up, didn't care about anything, just cut him up and did as he pleased. They both did harm Africa, but I just feel like Christianity had a much more permanent effect on Africa, including its economy, its trade, like just scorched earth policy. They were just a lot more brutal, in my opinion. So I have a new monitor, and I'm not sure if it's just the settings on the monitor, or I want to know how it looks to you guys. On this monitor, my face is just like beaming orange, and my lips, it looks like I'm wearing lipstick. How does it look to you guys? Because I might have to change my settings. Yeah, but today many Africans demonize pre-Islamic traditions. Yeah, that goes for any culture, you know. Well, Christianity and Islam did that. They go around, they would go to a people, convert the people, and then those people would demonize their own indigenous religions in place of Christianity and Islam. It wasn't just in Africa. Every continent has done that. Native Americans, the Europeans themselves have done that. They had their own gods, like the Norse gods and the Germanic gods and things like that. Romans would actually persecute people who were Christians rather than, you know, ones who worship the Roman gods. And then after the Roman government became Christian, it was the other way around. So, I have a question. What's your opinion on African American and Africa should come together and build up the continent of Africa? I mean, it sounds cool on paper, but that's asking a lot. I mean, black people in America already have their own. uniting an entire continent plus all of the diaspora is asking a lot. Just the continent alone is asking a lot, let alone the diaspora. I mean, it's not. Frankly, not everybody really cares. I mean, for me, I'm trying to start off my life. I'm trying to go to college, and I'm trying to accomplish my own goals and my own missions. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that regard. So, yeah. Do you think that we will soon see an African Pope? To be honest, I hope not. That's just me. I hope not. Because I don't think religion is helping the continent. People place too much faith in religion to the point where they don't think that they need to work for what they accomplished. It's just like, within God's will, or God's will bring me where I need to be. God will save me. And it's like, no, you will save you. And I think that mentality is what held people back collectively. And it's not insulting religious people. It's just having that mentality, placing all your faith in God, versus placing your faith in your own intuition and your own skills and your own hard work. I just don't really see it as an effective thing to do. But I mean, like I said, it's your faith. I respect you, whether you practice that faith or not. Do you think that we already saw that part? I think it's hypocrisy when people act like fetishism is an evil religion, but at the same time, I don't know any other religious militant groups than Islamic or Christian ones. You know, I was gonna make a video on that, but at the same time, I don't want to steer off topic on my channel. Sup, Donzo? Was Africa's original name Alkebulan or Zanj? Alkebulan was a name used by people such as the Ethiopians. Alkebulan is the only name for Africa collectively that was invented by Africans themselves. Its origins are believed to have been within Ethiopians. Zanj was a word that Arabic people would refer to East Africans. Like when they sailed the East African coast, they'd call the people Zanj. So, yeah. Donzo, Frito's dead. How's the map going? Progress hasn't been moving at all, I'm not gonna lie. Collaboration on with home team thing has pretty much not been moving. Like, I just wish he would. I tried to get him on Skype and like Twitter and Facebook, and he hasn't added me on anything. And he emails me back every now and then. I gave him a link to the Google Doc where we're working on the collaboration, but it's just really hard to talk to him. He emails me maybe like once every 3 days if I'm lucky. And then sorry, off topic. As far as the map is concerned, I've already gave Ali Bai what he needed, but I still haven't written a narrative for him. That's all we're waiting on. Zanj is a name for Bantus. Yeah, but it was a name created by the Arabs. Malinois, so there's many different ethnicities, many different words. I think Alkebulan means land of the blacks. But we could do all of that in our own country, and that way there would be would not be any negative comments like Trump made about certain countries. In my language, Africa is called Obibi. Was that the Ashanti Akan language? Did you see Home Team's new video? It's pretty nice. No, it popped up not too long ago. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm very interested. It's actually at the bottom of my notifications right now, on the bottom right of my screen. Tweet, that's right. I don't know why I always forget it. Some places label it as Ashanti, some label it as Tweet, and I always forget. I'm Muslim, and that is contrary to what we believe. God says, tie your camel, then put your trust in him. That it will be there when you get back. Point being, you have to put in work as yourself. What is your opinion on African Americans creating their own language, culture, and so on in order to separate themselves from toxic Western culture? I don't think we need to be divided, because division is just going to create conflict. I mean, dividing us has never been a good thing in this country. Segregation, there was a whole movement that would just be slapping all the civil rights movements people in the face. I mean, we don't have to be African to be, you know, it's okay to be westernized. It's not like, obviously it's not gone about in the proper ways. Like, things get a little too whitewashed, but the United States is a melting pot. It was built on a foundation of Western culture, but Like it doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a cultural melting pot. I wouldn't say Western culture is toxic, maybe some subcultures. Yeah, I don't think Western culture is toxic either. Not to mention, honestly, if you compare Eastern culture to Western culture, I think Western culture is significantly more tolerant towards other people than Eastern culture. Eastern culture, they even, like, I've been to Korea, and they're very, very big-headed and egotistical as a whole. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but their culture as a whole is generally less accepting of other people's ways of lives. I wouldn't say what. I found you on one of Emperor Tiger Star's videos. Oh, you did? Which one was it? Thank you for what, Tim? The chats went quiet for not being a smashing the West for some idiots. Yeah, like I said, I don't smash entire cultures, especially Western culture. I mean, it's like, for example, you can go to any college. Though I do think we need more representation, not gonna lie, that's what this channel's about. This channel is to create that more representation, but though I do think we need more representation, Africa's usually represented at least a little bit in things. Like, you can go to a college, for example, in my humanities class, and go through all the chapters, and it discusses, it blends African history in. Obviously, it's underrepresented compared to other cultures, but it blends it in, like, normally, like it does other cultures. Like, there's like a whole good section in there about the Benin Empire, which I was very surprised to see, you know. Then it talks about the Yoruba and their art traditions, like the Ife and all that stuff. So it's pretty interesting. Like, it's underrepresented, but it's represented sometimes, you know. So, and that's a far cry from, you know, even back in like the 90s and 80s, like African history and culture was just like completely invisible. Fortunately, this newer generation ahead of us, who's growing up within this age, is gonna be a lot more interested and a lot more prone to creating African-based content. You nearly reached your Imperial Army goal. Yep. And so that means I need to get going on this narrative. That's really the only thing that's holding me back. Ali Bai's ready to do it. I just need to give him the narrative. I just haven't actually sat down and done it yet. Probably do that at this live stream, by the way. It's gonna be a pretty short stream, guys. I'm not gonna lie, because I got a lot to do. Sorry for the late stream, by the way. Like I said, I just got this new monitor, and I had a bunch of stuff I had to take care of, a bunch of IRL stuff to take care of, in addition to setting up this new monitor. So. So, anybody have any ideas for something that we can do routine during the streams? I've heard that name in like pretty much all my streams, and I never bothered looking him up. Tariq Nasheed. Maybe I have seen him. It's a YouTuber, right? And by the love, I mean, and by the I love you channel, I'm not Arab, I'm African American. Wait, what? Did I miss something? Talk about misconceptions? It's actually going to be a video, Isaac. So, does it Zanj mean black Cushitic peoples are black, right? I think Zanj does mean black. I'm pretty sure. But, and yes, Cushitic people are black. But I mean, I don't think black was the one defining characteristic of Africans. I mean, they they were divided into different groups. They could have been discussing specific ethnicities, just like they discussed different ethnicities of Europeans and Arabs. What's the other name you're talking about, Danzo? One name for Africa that doesn't mean black. Yeah, exactly. Like, it always... That's one thing I noticed. For example, the 3 main racial groups of mankind. There's Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negroid. What do all those have in common? Or what do Caucasoid and Mongoloid have in common? Caucasoid discusses a region that the whites are believed to have originated, the Caucasus Mountains. Mongoloid also discusses a region, Mongolia. Negroid, black. Negro means black. It doesn't discuss a region that they're believed to have originated. It just discusses, well, they're Australoid, which is also a region. Like, they're all region, and then some people consider Australoids, some people discuss or consider Australoid a subdivision of Negroid, despite the fact that they're not related whatsoever. Australoids are their most distant ancestors. Well, there's a more politically correct terminology for Negroids called Congoid, I think, but it's rarely used. So it's, yeah. It seems like anytime people describe Africans, they always have to mention the color of our skin. And those are scientific. Those are scientific groups. No, I'm pretty sure Congoid is an actual thing. Like, if you Google Congoid, you'd probably see it. It's like an alternate term for Negroid. Actually, I'll look it up right now. Yeah. If you look up Negroid on Wikipedia, the first sentence says, Negroid, also known as Congoid, is a grouping of humans historically regarded by a biological taxon. So yeah, Congoid is another name for Negroid, but Negroid is like a lot more known and a lot more common. I thought Mongoloid referred to the Mongol eye folds or something. Yeah. Well, no, it refers to the region that the Mongoloid race is believed to have originated, which is Mongolia. They believe that they originated in the Mongolian area, and that Caucasians were believed to have originated in the Caucasus Mountain region. Weren't Horn Africans and North Africans called Caucasoids? North Africans, I think they're so mixed up that you can't really classify them. There are Caucasoid North Africans, like most Moroccans, I'd say. Most, like, Berbers are mostly Caucasoid. It doesn't necessarily mean they're white. It just means they're Caucasoid. Like, their skull and bone structures are are the same as Europeans, so they fall within the Caucasoid racial group. But there's so much mixing that those racial groups aren't necessarily an accurate way of determining somebody's race. Home Team History's back. Yep, he's been back for a couple weeks now. He actually released a new video today, and yesterday and today, actually. And I haven't watched either one. So, I have a request and a question. Can you do a video on ancient West African technological advancements? If any, I'm having a hard time on this in my research. Also, why do you always wear the hoodie? I plan on actually having the Empire themed costume. The streams themed around the Empire. I'm sure you noticed, like, I have the Imperial coffer. When people subscribe, it says they swore into the army. And the hoodie's just a filler. I'm gonna have a costume put together eventually. Oh, sorry, Zion, I didn't forget your question. Yes, I could do a video on that, but in order to submit a video request, you must be a patron. So, if you'd like to be a patron, you can do so at the following link. Prince Jalbard, so do you think a Yoruba race should be referred to as an Igbo? Yeah, I agree. The racial groups are supposed to denote the origin of that race, not the ethnicity. Ethnicity and race are two totally different things. It's just that in the U.S. we're so brainwashed with, because the U.S. isn't really like, it's not a normally naturally formed country. Whites and blacks are considered ethnicities in the United States, but in every other country that's not the case. Like, for example, in the British Islands. You have multiple ethnicities, but they're all white. You have Irish, you have Scottish, you have Welsh, you have British, you have Cornish. You have all kinds of ethnicities in the British Islands, but they're all white. That's what an ethnicity is a group that share the same common culture and way of life. That Patreon link didn't work at all. 1 second. I don't know why it didn't work. Anyway, my Patreon link should be in the description of this live stream. I don't know why my links aren't working. Or my commands. Oh, there it goes. Could you do a vid on the best architectural African kingdoms? Again, like I said, if you want video requests, you have to be a patron, or you have to, or if you donate at least $5, whether it be on stream, GoFundMe, whatever. Like, I want to, for those who support me, I just want to show my support back. Like, it's not just me being greedy or anything. Still not wealth. What? Wealth? What do you mean wealth? So why aren't African Americans with the same features classified as Caucasoid? Because we're not Caucasoid. Our ancestors are from Africa. We have admixture with Caucasoid people, but the majority of our DNA is still African, collectively. But that all depends on the individual. And that's also why the Caucasoid, Negroid, Mongoloid, like, system isn't very accurate, because there's so much admixture. Isn't skull shape an inaccurate way of classification? North Africans such as Sudanese people should be classified as Caucasian. That's what I'm saying. It is inaccurate because North Africa traditionally has been a very admixed people, because it's on the crossroads of 3 continents: Africa, Asia, and Europe. So you go there and you'll see different hair textures, different skin colors, all kinds of stuff, because there's been so much migration and intermarriage throughout history. That's why the whole whether Egyptians were black or white or brown debate is a little ridiculous, because they weren't one of those things. They were all of those things. Most studies done on African civilization anthropology is done by non-Africans. That triggers me hard. Well, I mean, that's what happens when your country is poor, you know. If your country is trying to keep the lights on and you know, feed yourselves, you're obviously not going to have enough money to invest on research and science. Which, you know, a lot of people just assume Africans are dumb or something, but no, it's just they're poor. So, I mean, if you're poor, are you going to be sitting at home making YouTube videos and drawing pictures, or are you going to be trying to keep food on your table? I mean, it's pretty much as simple as that. But people always suggest videos. Did you guys not hear them? You should be a patron. It's not rocket science. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. Like I said, it's just for those who support me. I want to give something back, and you know, having the privilege of directly contributing a topic that I'm going to make a video on, I think is something that should be reserved for those who directly support my goal of being able to do these videos full time. I mean, if I could do these full time, I'd be making videos every single day. Like, every day, I'd be live streaming multiple times a week. Everything would just, my stream would just be so 10 times better than it is right now. Everything would be 10 times better, because I could be able to dedicate all my time to doing it. So every little contribution brings me one step closer to that. And like I said, I just want to give back and show, you know, I want to directly give back something back to those who give something towards building my stream. Why aren't they classified as Caucasoid? You mean North Africans? Or blacks? Black Americans. Black Americans are not, because they're not considered Caucasoid, because most of our features are still African. Most of our DNA is still African. That's why. Like, if you look at our skull structure, it still more closely resembles that of sub-Saharan Africans than it does of Europeans. It's not like a one-drop rule. I mean, some African Americans might be closer to European than African, but the majority will not. That's why. So if you find the body of a black person who, you know, just he got the Caucasoid gene strong, he got the that small recessive 10% Caucasoid DNA in his skull structure, they might not be able to tell. They probably consider him a Caucasoid, and that's why the method of determining people's ethnicity is so unreliable, because of admixture. But long story short, you can't consider an entire race of people Caucasoid just because like 10% of them might, not even 10%, well, probably more. That's why it's unreliable. Like I said, if you had to put us in one group, it would be Negroids, simply because our features more closely resemble that of Africans. That's pretty much the best way to put it. Top boss word, and they always start making up stuff. Most studies. Oh yeah, I already read that. Afro-Americans are I already read it too. Yo, I was just arguing with this guy. He said Mansa Musa was an Arab. Yep. If anything is Islamic on the African continent, they assume that either it was Arabs or it was conquered and forced by Arabs. And it's like, no. It's like, does that mean that Christian Europe was you know, Middle Eastern too, like Turkish? Like that's pretty much what they're always getting at. Did you say you would make a video on scientific reasoning behind racism or something like that? Yes, I made. That is a video that was a video request submitted by a donator, and it's gonna be my next video. It's just been taking me a while. It's almost, the scripting and recording's almost done. I just need to actually push through and get the rest done. Have you heard of cranial modification in Africa? Yes, not just Africa though. It's happened with Native Americans as well. The Mayans and Aztecs, as well as people throughout Africa, Egyptians, East Africans, are known to, like, during the infancy, they tie ropes around their skulls while their skull is still soft, and it changes the shape of the skull. All right. How do you feel about China and Africa? Neo-colonialism. Enough said. Look it up. Neo-colonialism. Christian Europe was pagan at first. Early Christianity was a modified version of Judaism. Yeah. I heard a guy saying Sundia Dakita was Arab and he was even Muslim. He was Muslim as far as I know, but he definitely wasn't Arab. I mean, Kita is literally an African name, an African surname. Like, it's not even Arabic. And it's actually still a common last name to this day. I'd rather have China and Africa than the West. Also, Central Asian nomads like Huns and Avars. What about them? Chinese people are calm. I mean, you can't really classify all of them. Top boss, you mean the Chinese in Africa? Sundiata wasn't Muslim from what I know. I mean, Mali was as far as I know, the Ghana Empire was non-Islamic, and that was the empire that preceded the Mali Empire. It was non-Islamic, but it was greatly influenced by Muslims, and it was even conquered by the Almoravids for about 10 years, and then they fought back and regained their independence. And what's interesting about it is, which, you know, a lot of people insult Africans and all that and say that they were weak and they never amounted to anything. But, like, the Ghana Empire was conquered by the Almoravids for 10 years, fought them back, regained their independence, and those same Almoravids went north and invaded Spain and held on to Spain for 700 years. Yet people are always insulting Africans, saying they were primitive, and it's like, if that's the case, why were the Spanish unable to defeat them, but the Ghanaians, or well, the actual name of the empire was the what is it? I don't know. I can't think of it. I think it's the Akwar Empire. Actually, it wasn't called the Ghana. It was called the Akwar, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes, Akwar Empire. Sorry, I said it wrong. Akwar Empire. Yeah, Ouagadougou is another name for it as well. But the apparent from my research, Akwar was the proper name of it, and Ghana was just the name of the ruler. They had enough struggle when it comes to. Oh yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, they regained their independence from the Almoravids while the Spanish could not. But they were heavily influenced by Muslim, and Islam, and got a lot of pressure from Islamic traders and stuff. But they were never full on conquered by them. except for that 10 years. And then the Mali Empire, as far as I know, was, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, it was Islamic from the very start. But it wasn't Arabic, which people tend to kind of confuse the two. When you hear Islam, people immediately imagine a Middle Eastern guy with a turban on, you know? That's not the case. Like, Islam does not mean Arabic. Islam means you practice the religion known as Islam. That's it. It doesn't have anything to do with your skin color or your ethnicity or where you live. No, it just means you're a Muslim. That's it. I highly suggest you do some research on George Clemiscu, as he was one of the rare men in Europe who was against colonialism. He in fact made a really cool speech on that subject. Alright, I'll check it out. Prince, I don't know, these racists have officially lost the plot. I don't know what you guys are talking about anymore. But yeah, like I said, guys, it's going to be a short stream. I'm probably going to end it in a few minutes here. And I'm probably going to, or well, I am going to make sure I get at least something pushed out for you guys, because I know I've been kind of slacking lately. It's just been really busy. But thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, make sure you click the like button. And don't forget, as usual, check out my all my social media links: Facebook, Twitter, Discord. Like if you were following me on Twitter right now, you would have known that the stream was going to be late today, because I made sure I posted, let you guys know. It's good to have those updates. And then the Discord server, there's discussions like these going on every day. I mean, Tim can vouch, he's one of them. There's discussions going on in the text chat all day. Just, you know, I respond to them whenever I can too. So you just, the discussions that we do in these streams, you can have them anytime. Just obviously without my face in the camera. Yeah, I'll just be sure to tune in next time. I'm gonna hopefully have a video out for you guys by the end of the week. I'll do my best. And I appreciate you guys tuning in.